This is just AMZN on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020. Taking a look at the 5 minute, and this channel worked really well today. We shot up through here right into 1990, pulled back quickly. This was some announcement today, and pulled back quickly into this kind of consolidation here, high wave candle, and started to move back up. And we just got a lot of upper wicks, which is like, okay, there's a lot of bears coming in right in here. Doesn't get back up to 1990, but it just walks right along these highs, or along this upper end of the channel here. And just about every wick was touching. I mean, there's a couple that didn't, but we get this wick, these wicks, and then this wick right before it breaks down. And where does it come down to? Right into the low here. So I just drew this yesterday from this range here. I did tweak it some from what I had drawn last night, just because I was trying to get it to line up. I was looking at it on my phone, and it wasn't lining up quite right with the highs. It was showing that it was higher than the high. So I backed down the range to $56 here. I felt like it was riding these highs really nicely after hours. And so I kind of snugged it up into those, and then I brought it right into the low here, which touched the low here and here. Got into the wicks here, got into the candle here, and then touch some of the after hours of yesterday. And then pre-market, I wasn't even looking at this to see what it was doing, but it ran into it again, back down, came right into kind of the middle of it here. And then here we are riding right along the top edge. And this was a great place to be going bearish, looking for a pullback, and a phenomenal pullback right into the channel here. Now, when it bounced here, I thought, okay, maybe we'll come down and do some sort of a double bottom here. Similar to this, where we broke down, came down into this level, bounced, put in a stair step. I thought maybe we would do something similar, but not a stair step. We don't have the same range here, but maybe some sort of double bottom. And then that didn't work. And it totally rolled over here with a high wave candle, hammer, and then totally just continued on lower. Paused a little bit at 1925, looked like some bulls were going to come in there, and then broke down here. And if I copy this, why is it doing that? Oh, I did copy it. I forgot to delete it. Okay, so I copied that right into the lows again. We just changed channels. We were in this range today, broke down, continued down to this range, and then tried to get going. And there's just a lot of choppiness in here. I thought, we'd bounce off this nicely. We came back into it again, made a quick double bottom here, made another double bottom, bigger double bottom here, and then came back up to 1925. And so, this run up here looks similar to yesterday's, where we ran up from about the same area up to 1925. This was much more graceful, much stronger bullish. This has a lot of choppiness in it, which has me thinking we could continue lower, change channels again, and continue down a bit, but we'll just have to wait and see where things open. I guess we're still in this range after hours. So yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens there. But if we just zoom in on the highs through here, I'm going to switch over to the puts first and show you what range you could have been buying puts up here, and then getting out here, and then looking for a place where you could reload, looking for it to roll over further, because at this point you're thinking bullish, but it actually took out the low. It needed to retrace some. This is just a nice S curve here, giving you an opportunity to, on the breakdown, to get in at a retest, and then continues on lower. And then the calls did not work out too well today, so we'll take a look at those too. So first, over to the puts. Those upper wicks were all happening right in this range. This was that quick spike up, and it came down to a $3 price on the 1850 puts. I like the 1850. There was enough volume in here, and there was enough consistency in candles instead of just some lines like this, where there's just one contract. But actually, right through here, with a low at 3, you literally could have been buying 4x3, gotten a better fill. I don't think I'd go tighter on the stop than that because it could just pop a little bit. But I mean, your risk was defined that it was going to break out and you'd lose an R, but then you're wrong and it's breaking out. But instead, it held this high, this upper end of the channel really so incredibly well. And then broke down, and half an hour later it was right down here. So from basically your last chance was 10:25, and then you could have been getting out at 10. I'm sorry, at 10:05. It was, which candle am I on? Sorry, the 10 o'clock candle is the last candle that you could have been getting into right on this edge of the channel. And then at 10:25, you could have been getting out at a target. Very quick mover. Doing that with the puts, 10 o'clock, this one sold for 360. You would have gotten a better fill on a 4x3 entry. Let's say it filled at 4, and then you're getting out at 10:25, right up into the high here. So you probably have your target around 9, 10, somewhere in there. And you're getting out, I mean, you're getting in at 4, getting out at 10. That's 6R in less than 30 minutes, about 25 minutes there. And then it pulls back significantly, does not come all the way back down to 4, but because you already got in at 4, if it comes back into the $5 range, it's like, yeah, just get in 5 by 4, and risk another R here. Or you wait till this starts to make the make the S and get in like 6 by 5, and it's moving at this point. This candle 1150. Let's see, that was right here. So 1150 had a little bit of spike. I do like this hammer and then the breakdown here. So at 1150, you could have been getting in possibly at 6. I don't know if that's a real spike down. There's only 5 contracts, so I'm guessing it's not. But still, with the hammer, with a doing a smaller S curve, I mean, there were opportunities to get in and kind of reload, even though it's getting back into the bottom of this channel. Things are looking more bearish. You got this bigger breakdown. It broke down from below the earlier low of the day. It retested about halfway back up to this range, this channel. Probably about, I think I did 56 on the height on this. So we're back up here about $28 up from here, or at least, we're around $30 back up from this price to this price. But it's only kind of a midline, so it's going to go up a little bit more than 56 on its way back up. But anyway, right back up into about 50%, starts to roll over, and really you just hang on for the ride. And if you had drawn this in next, thinking, oh, what if we get all the way down that far? This was the zone to be looking for it to get into, and looking to then take it bullish from here, get out of bearish moves. And that would have been a great target just to copy the same channel. And so, yes, you could have been getting out for some at 10. If you just held on and just kind of trailed your stop up. I mean, this thing just skyrocketed. It's still the 1850 strike puts, way out of the money, but it still moved phenomenally well, just because there's been so much volatility. And today was, just another day of volatility. So obviously looking to get out as it's, coming into a support zone, really could have been getting out anywhere above 20. Would have been probably relatively easy to do. And you had a lot of opportunities to do that through here. Once it started to make this double bottom, it still gave you another opportunity to exit over here. The range over here was a 140 candle. 140 was right here. So at a last stitch effort, you could have been getting out at like 22, 23, something like that. And that's getting in at, what do we say, 6? So 623, that's 17R. Plus the 6R you got earlier. So that's over 20R, just taking the same option, you won on it. So there's no wash sale, I think. Talk to your financial person to figure that out. I think the wash sale is only if you lose. But anyway, yeah, some phenomenal moves. There was a little bit of a bouncing here. So at 10:30, 10:25, 10:30, looking at calls here, this is the 2000 strike. And these candles were really large range. Still, though, it paused right into this area here on $8. Held a low of 780 on both of these candles, right? No, 780, 785. started to bounce, and then you still had a bit of a pullback. So really, if you're thinking it's going to hold this low, which is what you're looking for it to do in this channel, this, I think one of these lows in here was where you could have been buying and just scalping on its way back up. Now this is someone going counter trend to the way the day is moving. But if you're getting in potentially like 9 by 8, or maybe 850 by 750, getting below the low here, and I don't know if it would have filled you with a low of 840 if 850 would have filled. These have been really, really spready. So even though it's the 2000 strike, it's a little ways away. It, the spread of the option may have been more expensive to get into something like that. But this one, let's say you got in at 9, you're just scalping for a couple hours. You can get out at 11, at 13, something like that. But still, that's a couple of hours. If we go out a little further to the 2050, the volume's going to drop off a bit, but it held a really, really nice low all throughout here. So at 1025, it's putting in a low. These are much cheaper. Easily buying 2 by 1 and just scalping, getting out at 3. The other thing that we talked about a little bit is going out a little further. So I'm going to go out to next week and just see what was happening. There's very, very little volume here. You could barely scalp this at all. You could have gotten in at 350, not even getting out at 450. So that one's too far away, or just not trading well enough. So how about the 2050? Okay, that's interesting. Comes right into the 10 by 9 range and gives you a nice little bounce here. 10 by 9, getting out. So getting in at 10, getting out at 12. That could have worked here. I like that. It's interesting. That's a whole week out, and an extra week of time, and you're only at the 2050 strike. Now, I don't like the volume, but for a quick scalp, I like that move. I think you're just paying up on the spreadiness of it. But you compare to this week, back to the 2000 strike, and oops. That's not what I wanted. Compare back to this, you can see how many more people are trading this, how much more volume there is here. So in this case, it's on a Tuesday, it's easier to stay with the nearest strike and expiration. I'm sorry, the nearest expiration in the 2000 strike. Later on into the day, there was kind of just some sideways action here as it was trying to bounce. It actually did end up bouncing. That's what's crazy. This did end up bouncing. It ran up, like $30 or something. No, more than that. It put in a low 1888, around 1888, and went all the way up to almost 1930. So $40 move. And here's the 2000 strike. Coming down to a low of 3 and getting up to 6, that's just not very much of a move. I think you would have had to been even closer, probably like 1950. This would have been more expensive. Yeah, you can see it only put in the low around $12 or $12.50. Maybe 1975. The volume drops off there. You get some lows into the 7. Oh, 664 here. I don't like how this traded. This is just really, really, really choppy and really spready. And I don't like when the purple line just totally disappears, because I don't know what that this is the theoretical option price. I never trust it looking at this chart. I just don't track it during the day to know, is it really tracking the price? So I usually default to candles, but then I still look for candles that have, a tighter range where something's basing, and I'm just not seeing that be something that you can really risk here with the 1975. So if we go back to 2000 strike, I think you're going to kind of be stuck with trading a bullish move late in the day, getting in like 3 by 4. And then flipping it out at 5 or 6. So you're just scalping an R, maybe 2R, but I think there's a little bit of luck that this moved up past 5. This even moved up. No, wait, getting up to 6. If you're in 4 by 3, you got to get up to 6. Yeah, I think that there's more luck there than planning to get out at 6. So, anyway, not too much for the Bulls, a lot more for the Bears. Looking at the daily here, we gapped up and faded back down. I would not be surprised if we had a little more movement downward. We basically got back up into this channel and ended the day back down to this channel. And we haven't spent enough time down here to know if we're really going to play through these prices yet. We're not, nothing looks like what we put in through here. We've got bigger candles than we've seen in a while. Today's range was over 100 points, which is phenomenal. That from the high all the way, we were talking about the 1990 price and got past 1890 as well. So a huge move. If you were able to ride that down all the way down with the even from this edge of the channel down to the second channel down here, really just phenomenal to be able to trade like that. So hopefully we'll get some more opportunities to do that. So yeah, we'll see what happens the rest of this week. Hope this helps. This is Just AMZN. Thanks.